Mom. I'm tired after a long day at football camp. Can I have a bedtime story?
Sure, honey. How about the story of the Good Shepherd?
Sure.
Once upon a time, there was a good shepherd tending on his flock when suddenly a vicious, Shabbath creature appeared hungry for his fellow sheep. The shepherd fearlessly and valiantly fought the Shabbath, leaving his sheep behind, trying fiercely to protect them. The sheep, being left to their own accord, didn't know quite what to do. So some sheep just kind of stayed where they were, and others kind of just wandered off to go explore the world that they had never been released into. The shepherd, after defeating the Shabbath, returning to his flock, discovered that something was quite fishy. He was missing about 2/3 of his sheep, and he wasn't quite sure where they had gone. So he escorted the sheep that he had back home and decided to go out and search for the sheep that had been lost. He finds his first sheep rather quickly because she was riding a very rather noisy motorcycle and dressed rather queerly. She seemed to be quite obsessed with wheels, but after immediately seeing the Good Shepherd, dropped the motorcycle and jumped right up to him as he escorted her all the way back home. The shepherd continued searching to find another one of his sheep, but this one was rather obsessed with a shiny chinchilla.
Why was it shiny?
Everybody knows butter makes it shiny. The sheep immediately noticed the shepherd, threw the chinchilla down into the straw, and was taken back to his home. The shepherd did not falter in his search for one of his sheep, and continued to go on and on. The shepherd then encountered his next sheep, who was rather fascinated with exercising and bodybuilding. But after seeing the Good Shepherd and noticing his power and his absolute chisel jaw, dropped the weight on his foot and followed the shepherd all the way back. The shepherd then continued to search for his very last sheep. He came across, not his last sheep, his second to last sheep. He came across the beauty salon to find, strangely, he observed one of his sheep getting dreads. So, looking at how ridiculous the sheep looked, he showed himself in the mirror and realized that that is not at all what he had wanted. So he quickly followed the shepherd back to never do anything with his fur ever again. Despite the fact that most shepherds would have given up by now and just said, you know what, I have most of my sheep, I don't think I want to continue looking further, he decided that he was going to press on to get every single last one of his sheep. So after walking by a saloon window, he noticed something rather peculiar. There's a sheep sitting up by the saloon. The shepherd approaches the sheep to hear the sheep say, "It's the end of the world!" Realizing the sheep has given up complete hope for his life, he reaches down to pick up the sheep and decides that he will explain to it that it's okay, that he can take care of him the way that he was supposed to be intended to. The end.
Shiny? Is it that we can only find fulfillment through God and not through our own means?